Good day, Ms. LUMUMBA.
How are you, Dion?
I am great. On behalf of Style Mississippi Magazine, we are so honored for this opportunity to talk with you today.
Well, it's an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, and thank you again. I want to personally congratulate you and your husband, Mr. Shokwe LUMUMBA, on his recent victory of the Democratic mayor candidate
Primary.
primary.
Yeah, we have to be careful and make sure we say primary because there's a general election coming up in a matter of weeks on June 6th. So we don't want folks to get comfortable, be excited, but not so excited that you don't go vote again.
I think you got this in the bag. I think you guys got this in the
Well,
bag.
thank you. Thank you.
Well, without further ado, please share with Style Mississippi Magazine your role in your husband's mayoral campaign.
In the campaign, okay. So during the campaign, I served as my husband's media chair. And what that entailed was controlling the messaging on our social media outlets, the messaging that you saw on billboards, on signs, building the website, all of that. I was the chair of a committee of folks who put that together. So I was primarily in charge of ensuring that our messaging was, one, accurate, and two, clear for a number of audiences. And it was a huge job. It also entailed writing commercial scripts for television as well as radio ads and the print ads that you see in the paper, also designing those and ensuring that the messaging was consistent across the board. So that was the role that I played in the campaign, and it was quite character building.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is, to say the least. I don't think I realized how much it was when he asked me to do it. So I don't know if I had it to do over again, what would happen, but.
But what other person would be the best person to?
He said the exact same thing. Y'all
I
been talking.
mean, no, we haven't been talking. It all makes sense.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, now let's get into some politics.
Okay.
What do you see as Jackson's most pressing issue?
As a Jacksonian, I was raised here and I left for college and graduate school, but I've been back since 2012. The most pressing issue I see as someone who's grown up here, left and have returned, is economic development and infrastructure. And I say that because the way that Jackson is different from the way it looked when I was a child. I see fewer businesses. I see businesses that were thriving when I was younger, completely gone. And of course the roads, and I don't know that there is anyone in Jackson or who's traveled through Jackson who wouldn't agree with me that our roads are in disrepair, and also our pipes under the roads. There are issues there. As a matter of fact, we've had a water issue in our neighborhood a few months back that has resurfaced just this week. So I know that if we could get those things under control, that it would contribute to bettering other aspects of our city. Crime is a huge issue, but I think part of crime is lack of opportunity. And so if we could increase our economic development in the city, and if we could use the infrastructure to increase that economic development, then I'm certain that crime would decrease a great deal.
Well, as the First Lady, how do you plan on tackling these issues that you just addressed?
Sure. So as the presumptive First Lady, but I like that you claim it. I'm not taking that away from you. There's not much I could do on the policy end. I certainly won't be working in my husband's administration. But as a Jackson citizen who does have the ear of the administration, what I hope to do is keep people abreast of the issues. Being in charge of my husband's messaging during the campaign has benefited me in ensuring that narrative continues. So I hope to be able to benefit in that aspect, to ensure folks understand what's clearly going on with the city in whatever way I can. If I have a platform to do that, if I'm able to do speaking engagements, go into communities where he's not able to be because he's working, I'm more than willing to be an unofficial spokesperson, just to ensure people are kept abreast of the issues, that they understand what's going on in their community and the communities that neighbor ours. I would hope to be able to do that.
Well, touching on the economy, regarding the city of Jackson, what are your thoughts on stimulating the economy as far as shopping local merchants and their heavy?
So that's absolutely key. Shopping local is huge. It's something that I strive to do in my personal life, whether it's grocery shopping or retail shopping, making a deliberate choice to keep that inside Jackson city limits is beneficial to us as a city. When we talk about the 1% sales tax, well, we only get that 1 cent on the dollar if we spend our money here in Jackson. So making that deliberate choice to stay inside Jackson, regardless of how we assume the resources are fewer, will ultimately benefit those issues that we pinpoint as being issues in our city. So if you are concerned about the roads, if you're concerned about our officers not making enough, if you're concerned about the city workers being taken off of furlough, one thing that every citizen can do is make a deliberate choice to spend their hard-earned money in the city limits as much as possible. So that's one thing that I think is key that will thrive our economic development. Once folks see us spending our money in our city, once that money doesn't leave at 5 p.m., then businesses are more inclined to build here. They're more inclined to bring their businesses here, their stores here, because they see that we are determined to spend our money within the city limits. And beyond that, there's opportunity for cooperatives. This is something my husband talked about on the campaign trail. And not that cooperative businesses would be a great majority or even a large percentage of the businesses in our city, but where we see a need, we can respond to it. So if we see fewer grocery stores, we can do what the folks from Jackson Cash and Carry have done and open a store in the community that's owned by folks in the community. And cooperatives take that a step farther, where it's worker-owned businesses. And a cooperative can be anything. It could be a laundromat, it could be a catering service, it could be it could be an auto mechanic shop. So I think that if we take matters into our own hands in those situations, what that will demonstrate for companies outside of Jackson is that these folks are determined, right, to see their city thrive. They're determined to spend their money inside the city limits. My husband talks about a movie theater that could be a cooperative. If we did that and we stopped going to Malco and we stopped going to Parkway, then other companies would see that we need to bring our business inside of the Jackson city limits, because if we don't, they'll respond to that issue themselves and we'll lose revenue ultimately building outside of the city. So those are just a couple of ways I think we can increase our tax base and economic development in the city.
Right. Well, one thing we can say for sure, we can start with this lovely attire you have.
That's
on.
true.
This necklace, this skirt, all pieces from a local merchant in the Metro Center Jackson Mall. Mississippi Fashion Week store recently opened a couple of weeks ago.
Just a few weeks ago.
From what I see today, they have some great stuff
They
to
have the
offer.
goods. Yeah, they have the goods.
Well, these next set of questions are going to be especially for you.
Great.
Okay. As Ebony LUMUMBA, how important is your appearance of dress to you? Not as the first lady, not as the potential first lady, but your day to day. How important is that?
So it's important to feel good. Because when you feel good, it affects every other aspect of your day and your work, how you interact with people. So feeling good is connected with looking good, right? And not that I'm certainly not this dolled up every day. This feels special, but I do have a routine makeup that I do every day. I like my hair to look a certain way, and it's what one of my life mentors says, it's however you like yourself. So if I feel that I look good, then that benefits my teaching, that benefits my interaction with coworkers, it even benefits my interaction with my husband. If I feel like I look good, then I'm a better person to love. So I like the things that I like, and I think they're pretty distinct to my style. And style, as you know, evolves over the years. So it's things and pieces that I picked up from my travels and from my life growth that I think make up Ebony LUMUMBA's personal style.
I like that. Well, that's what I was going to say. How would you describe your personal style?
Oh my goodness. I would probably describe it, if I had to put it into a word, Afropolitan.
I have never heard of such.
I probably just made it up. But
tell me more. As your
Sure.
fashion fairy, I have never heard of such. I'm telling you, please tell me more.
So what do I mean by Afropolitan? I love global accessories. And when I mean global, not only from the continent of Africa, I have several pieces from Mali, Ghana, Nigeria, and I also have pieces from India and other parts of the world. the earrings, necklaces, bracelets. I wore a Bengali wedding bracelet the day of my wedding, and a signature necklace, I believe it was from Zimbabwe, that a friend got me. So I love global accessories, right? Kind of bringing this local and global feel. And then the politan part is I want to always be ready for the circumstance that I'm in. So while I might not have on, a tailored suit, I'm ready to conduct business.
Yes.
I have a very firm handshake, I've been told, but I tell folks all the time, you never know when you're going to be able to conduct a little business wherever you are.
Right.
So the Afropolitan is the acknowledgement of this sort of global appearance that I adopt, because there's so much beauty all over the world, and I like to celebrate that. And I think maybe even my hair ties into that a little bit. And the politan part is just being ready for every situation, being polished enough to be in any realm at a moment's notice. I think that's probably how I would describe my personal style.
You might have to trademark that.
Somebody
name or
probably
something.
already did.
I have never heard that, but that is genius.
Thank
I
you.
think that is genius.
I'll take credit for it today.
Okay, you got it. Well, let me ask you this. What type of first lady do you aspire to be?
I aspire to be accessible,
Okay.
accountable, and responsible. There are so many wonderful people in the city of Jackson, and I think the majority of Jackson citizens feel disconnected from city leadership and the folks around city leadership. So I want to bridge that gap. I will not stop shopping at Target. Okay, if I go missing, that's where you all can find me. And just having everyday conversations, because a lot of the times that's where you get the meat or the heart of what folks are dealing with. When you bump into them at the grocery store, when you run into them picking their kids up from school or at the gym, those are the times where I interact with folks and they're able to kind of share their feelings, share their concerns and what they're dealing with. So I want to always be accessible. And by accountable, I mean, responsible to the citizens of Jackson. The First Lady position isn't necessarily an official position, but there is an aspect of it that's accountable to the city of Jackson, a representative of the city. And so I want to be accountable to the citizens of Jackson, to be poised and to be an example for young women, and as well as a woman that my elders can be proud of, right? And taking that beyond Jackson city limits, beyond Mississippi city limits, wherever we are in the world, I want people to get a picture of the grace and beauty that exists in Jackson through me.
Okay. Well, I'm going to finish this up with, what advice would you give young women who are vocal about social issues and want to make an impact on society?
Do it now.
Okay.
Do it now. The world is waiting on you. Whatever the Lord has embedded or implanted in you, typically that's from a young age, you are the only one that can accomplish that to the magnitude that it's part of your destiny. So do it now. Do not wait on the world. The world is waiting on you. There are so many gifted young women that I deal with every day at Tougaloo College, that I bump into at stores and local eateries, who have a vision for something amazing in their hearts and in their minds. So just bring it into the natural. Make it practical. Do it now, because someone needs your genius to survive.
Wow. What a profound statement.
Oh, thank you.
Well, it has been a delight talking
It's been
with
great
you.
talking
So
to
nice
you.
to meet you.
Great to meet
I'm looking
you.
forward to what's to come for the city.
As am I. Great things to
Jackson,
come.
yes.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you so much again on behalf of Style Mississippi Magazine for taking this time to enlighten us on Miss Ebony LUMUMBA.
I like the way you sound it.
Okay.
Thank you, Deanna. It
You're
was a
welcome.
pleasure. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.